Now, days after the clash between Indian troops and PLA troops in Tawang in Arunachal Pradesh, External Affairs Minister S Jaishankar, while addressing the UNSC yesterday, hit out at China for shielding terrorism. Jaishankar said that platforms are being misused to justify and protect terrorists. It is pertinent to note that China has on multiple occasions supported and defended Pakistan and its bid to destabilize India. Remember, several attempts have been made by the world to block Pakistan-based terrorists, including Masood Azhar, and all of those attempts have been blocked by Beijing at the UNSC. Meanwhile, former Army Chief M.M. Naravane has also come out and reacted, and he says that Tawang clashes show how China is going back to its regressive ways, and it's a level that the PLA troops have stooped down to is so low that it's quite ridiculous. He further adds that the Indian Army countered the PLA troops in the same way that they took action back in Galwan and this time around as well.
When it comes to climate action and climate justice, the state of affairs is no better. Instead of addressing the relevant issues in the appropriate forum, we have seen attempts at distraction and diversion. On the challenge of terrorism, even as the world is coming together with a more collective response, multilateral platforms are being misused to justify and protect perpetrators.
See, we would still like to maintain that we are a 21st century army. To start going back to clubs and barbed wires is going back to prehistoric times. I think it is a very regressive way of going. We would still like to maintain that we, in warfare also there are certain rules. It is not that you just do whatever that you want to do.
Right.
So we would still like to maintain a professional stance, and therefore rather than resort to wielding clubs, we rather open fire. That is how our army fights. Are we hooligans? Are we mafia? Or are we a professional army? Is that the level that PLA has gone down to?
Yeah.
Hooliganism and street fighting? Or are they a professional 21st century army? On one side they try to show their technological prowess. On the other side they're coming with barbed wire clubs. It is ridiculous.
Officers of the Indian Air Force say that this is a routine exercise and that was planned in advance. That can be considered as a coincidence that, it is happening at a time when just a few days back when we had this clash. But again, having said that, this exercise is going to be very, very important because it is happening in the close proximity to the actual line of control. We know that what kind of readiness we are looking for. We know that when we talk about readiness, then what is expected out of Indian Air Force or Indian Army for that matter. And this is the reason why, everyone is eyeing on this exercise. Now, in this exercise, Indian Air Force officials will be checking the response time, the readiness of the fighter jets, of the UAVs, the helicopters, and all other platforms. During the recent weeks, Indian Air Force had to, scramble its fighter jets because of the air violation. This is very important for the world to know that how China is basically violating the set norms, the agreements, and also is trying to invade.